Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
We begin with breaking news. Just a short time ago, Fargo police were called to an apartment building located at 4102 18th Avenue South. People living there said that they could smell something foul coming out of an apartment building, so they called police. A body has since been found in one of the units, and right now there is no word of any sort of foul play. Stick with Valley News Live as we learn more about this breaking story.
Care 19 is about the most secure thing you could possibly have on your phone of all the apps that you have.
North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum is defending a contact tracing app that came under fire by privacy groups for sharing your data to big tech companies. We first told you about it last night. That reports indicated that the Care 19 app was sharing data to third parties. Valley News Team's Joshua Pagero tried getting answers from the app developer, who told us last week that no one had access to your data.
The backlash by privacy experts has been swift for the Care 19 app, but North Dakota's governor says he's supporting the app. His health department had a hand in launching for contact tracing. It's an app Fargo's mayor says he supports.
So it's actually safer as far as tracing and knowing what you've done, but it really helps you try to remember who you were with that day.
What it does is, let's say, for example, you get COVID-19. The app will retrace your steps and see other people who may have come in contact with you. In a 30-minute plus interview with us last week, the app's developer reassured us several times no one had access to the data.
The thing is with our app, we're contractually bound that the data sits in our server. I am literally the only person that has access to that data, and we share data with no one. So it just goes into the cloud and sits in this tiny little server in Des Moines, Iowa, and nobody ever sees it.
Tim Brookins also said the app would not identify users by name. They'd be assigned a random number.
Well, we don't collect any personal information, so you don't put your name in, you don't put the phone number, no email address. Nothing like that. The app actually just gets assigned a random number when you install it. That's all we even know you by is a random.
A study by privacy app developer Jumbo Privacy blew a hole into that notion, claiming that Google, Foursquare, and other companies have access to your location data. Foursquare is a company that connects advertisers to people. Jumbo Privacy recommended users do not download the app, expressing concern your data may be shared with advertisers. Brookings declined speaking on camera, but in a statement to us, he criticized Jumbo Privacy and says Foursquare does not store the data. Care 19 only sends data to Foursquare. Just days ago, in an interview with the tech blog Fast Company, Brookings credited the discovery of the issue as a, quote, good catch. He did not respond to our follow-up email. More than 76,000 people have downloaded the app. In Fargo, Joshua Pagero, Valley News Live.
Jumbo Privacy declined commenting on its criticism of the Care 19 app, only saying, quote, we care about facts. In a statement, Governor Burgum's office says the Care 19 data is not shared for commercial use. They also say the app's privacy policy was updated to explicitly identify the involvement of a third party. State of North Dakota is now reporting 90 new cases of COVID-19, and this brings the total amount of cases in the state to 2,317. There's also been another death linked to the illness. The victim was a man in his 80s with underlying health conditions from Cass County. 39 patients are currently being hospitalized, and 1,405 are listed as recovered. Officials with Minnesota State University Moorhead confirm individuals working on campus have tested positive for COVID-19. MSUM says it received 2 separate reports yesterday of people who worked at the campus contracting the disease. MSUM wasn't clear on how many people tested positive and what their positions were. All of the people who worked in close proximity with those who got COVID-19 have since been notified. In Minnesota, health officials are confirming 813 new cases of COVID-19, along with 33 additional deaths. This brings the total to a little over 19,000. The death toll increased by 33 to 842. 688 of them happened in a nursing home or long-term care facility. 12,696 people are listed as being recovered. We were told that it was going to be breezy today, not windy, but breezy it was. I'd sure like to see the wind move on as we begin our holiday weekend. Hutch is here with a first look at the forecast. Hutch?
And we continue to see that the wind trend is heading on the declining side, Mike. As we look in on the Fargo Dome, you can tell there's a little breeze out there by the waving of the trees and the Skycam itself. Here's a look at the latest gusts, over 20 miles per hour here in the valley, with peak gusts today that did hit 30 miles per hour in Fargo. A few clouds out there of the high variety, some thunderstorms to the northwest of us, way out there. If there are going to be any thunderstorms tonight, our northwestern counties in the area of the green line here will have the best chance at seeing some this evening and even into the overnight hours. So for Fargo, very quiet. Continue breezy until around sunset, and then the wind really tapers off. Really a beautiful night in the 70s for most of our evening. Grand Forks, likewise, gorgeous conditions in the 70s until after sunset in Grand Forks. Sunsets at 9:10. The holiday weekend is upon us. I'll have hour-by-hour details on what you can expect coming up here in just a few moments. Mike?
Certainly look forward to that. Thanks, Hutch. A 50-year-old man is in jail tonight facing sex crime charges involving the abuse of a young girl. Jonathan Linner is charged with continuous sexual abuse of a child and could spend the rest of his life in prison if he's found guilty. Authorities say Linner sexually assaulted a young girl between the ages of 10 and 14 multiple times. They say the sexual abuse happened 4 to 5 times a week, specifically in the years between 2013 and 2018. Authorities are investigating after a house fire of the couple connected with the death of foster children. This house burned down. FBI investigators confirmed to Valley News Live that the home of 42-year-old Eric Longi Jr. and 45-year-old Tammy Longi was destroyed by fire this morning. The Longis stand charged and in jail in connection with the death of their 5-year-old foster daughter, Raven. Authorities in Wadena County say alcohol may have been a factor after a rollover crash that seriously injured one person. It happened around 2:30 this morning near Blueberry Township. 46-year-old Jeremiah Wakama told deputies that he was driving too fast around a private property and lost control. Deputies found all 3 occupants outside the vehicle. The passengers were identified as 49-year-old Richard Prom and 25-year-old Aaron Sprecht. All 3 people received medical attention, and one person was transported by helicopter to a hospital with severe injuries. State regulators in Minnesota are saying COVID-19 patients discharged from the hospital are being admitted into nursing homes. The Star Tribune reported that Minnesota has the highest percentage of deaths in long-term care facilities than any other state in the nation. Valley News Team's Callie Hubbard spoke with nursing homes in the metro to see if they're being pressured to take residents.
Many states, including New York, came under fire for a policy requiring nursing homes to admit COVID-19 positive patients. Data shows that Minnesota now has 81.4% of deaths from long-term care facilities and assisted living centers. Minnesota's Department of Health did so to lower the risk of overwhelming hospital beds with COVID-19 patients.
One of the other discrepancies Minnesota has versus some other states is that people who are from the care center that might go to the hospital and would pass away at the hospital are still counted as a care center death.
John Rewer of Eventide Senior Living Communities in Moorhead says new admits will have to quarantine for 14 days after being released from the hospital.
I'm not sure about the rest of the state of Minnesota. I know at Eventide and other facilities in Moorhead, we're all practicing the same approach, which is a negative test coming out of the hospital before they're admitted.
West of the Red River, it's a similar situation.
There's no requirement for us to take COVID patients, and there's no requirement for us to keep COVID patients either.
President and CEO of Bethany Retirement Living in Fargo says they're not being forced to take COVID positive patients.
If a resident is COVID positive at Bethany, let's say, and they have a decline in health condition, we are allowed to work with the physician and the family to discharge them to the hospital, just like we would if they had a normal decline in health condition.
In the FM area, Callie Hubbard, Valley News Live.
COVID-19 outbreaks in long-term care facilities have claimed 33,000 lives, or 1/3 of all deaths in the nation. Hospital beds stationed at the Fargo Dome in anticipation of a surge of COVID-19 patients were removed today. More than 24 National Guardsmen helped with that process. The cots will be sent back to Bismarck. Fargo Mayor Tim Mahoney says he's glad city hospitals weren't overwhelmed by coronavirus patients.
In watching this disease, we thought it would double time every 4 days. It's doubling now every 22 days. So we really have time. If it starts to go up, we could reassemble the cots if we had to. But we're very happy that we have not had to use them.
The mayor also says that people shouldn't be alarmed by the high number of positive COVID-19 cases in Cass County. More testing is being done in the area. President Trump wants churches and other houses of faith to open this weekend. Speaking from the White House briefing room, President Trump said houses of worship provide essential services and called on governors to allow them to open immediately. If they don't, the president said he would override the governors. The president said he directed the Centers for Disease Control to issue guidance regarding churches, synagogues, and mosques.
The governors need to do the right thing and allow these very important, essential places of faith to open right now for this weekend. If they don't do it, I will override the governors.
President Trump says in America we need more prayer, not less. Here's an announcement a lot of people have been waiting for. The 45th annual Downtown Street Fair has been, unfortunately, postponed. Now, the new dates have been set for Thursday, August 13th through Saturday, August 15th of this year. Street fair vendors have been contacted, and it is still being determined if there will be enough vendors available on the new dates to hold the event. The Minnesota State Fair is canceled for this summer. To no one's surprise, the Fair Board decided to cancel the event for safety reasons amid the pandemic. The fair is slated to go on next summer in 2021. Anyone who already bought tickets for the fair or a grandstand concert can use them next year. Still ahead tonight on Valley News Live at 5, the concerns that shoppers have as the country continues to reopen.
Temperatures today a little warmer where you see the orange colors from the Red River and points to the west. But some beautiful weather is expected as we head into our 3-day weekend. We'll have your Memorial Day weekend outlook coming up right after this.